Welcome into the KeenelandSelect.com for Saturday, January 7th, the first podcast for us for 2017. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, as we turn to the card at Gulfstream Park for Saturday. Got a graded stake early on the card, a couple of other stakes later, so we're going to take a look at the Grade 3 Dania Beach in the fourth, and then the late pick 4. So, Jim, let's jump right into that fourth race. This is often a good betting race. 7.5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds. Where did you land in the...
It could be a good betting race if they can beat Made You Look. I think Made You Look is going to be the favorite here. These colts had just turned 3. As a 2-year-old, he ran the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf and only got beat 5.5 by Oscar Performance. So I think off that performance, he's going to come back and probably going to be the favorite here. I do think it's a decent betting race, though, because I don't think it's a slam dunk. Minister Strike, the 3 for Mark Cassey, looked really good at Keeneland in winning allowance race. A little bit short for him because he started at a mile and broke his maiden at Ellis Park and then came back to mile 16th and stretched out for Cassey and won easily by 3.5 at 8-1 that day. So Minister Strike, I think, has a shot. I think Squadron has a shot, the 5 for Pletcher, who broke his maiden on the turf at Gulfstream Park West. And Kitten's Cat, the 1. You always got to look at Ramsey's horses, and this horse for Joe Sharp has been really good with progressive buyer, so 69, 78, 85. And Breeders' Cup Day out there and an undercard race in the Juvenile Turf Sprint. So I think those horses all have a shot. I think Made You Look is going to be the favorite, but I might take a price with Minister Strike, the 3, or Kitten's Cat, the 1.
I ended up going to the 1, Kitten's Cat, trying to beat the favorite and just get a little bit of a price. I thought that this one ran well in that Grade 3 last fall behind Oscar Performance, who came back to win the Breeders' Cup race, and then won on the Santa Anita undercard at third place finish behind Oscar Performance. So I think this horse has some class, and I think he's well drawn down on the inside. So with those two factors, I'm going to try to beat Made You Look, but he's definitely the one to beat. And then Minister Strike was the other one I had written down. I thought that was a real impressive win at Keeneland as well. So those were the 3 I was looking at, with probably just box those 3 in an exacta and hope Kitten's Cat can get home first. Takes us to the 8th race that starts the late pick 4. This is a maiden race on the turf at a mile. Didn't have a strong opinion here. I ended up taking the 2 to Purge for the win. This horse was well bet in his debut for Chad Brown. Didn't run well, but Brown wins at 25% with second-time starters. I like that Castellano stays. So without a real strong opinion on anybody else, I just thought getting a little value on a Chad Brown horse was intriguing here, so I'm taking the 2. But I also like the other Brown horse, the 6, Inflexibility, the 3, Bogulator. Although that's probably one of the favorites. Didn't really impress me that much. Dramatic Girl for Cassie. Talaqui for McLaughlin. Some couple other first-timers that I thought were intriguing. A Rose I think it's Rose for Lizzie on the outside, the 12, bad post position. But I thought that one had a shot if they can work out a trip. So I'm going to use all of those in one version of a pick 4 that I'll explain later. But for the win, I'm going to take the 2 to Purge. How about you?
Yeah, I didn't have a strong opinion here either, and I've got down in my pick 4 ticket. If you made me pick somebody, it would probably be Bogulator, but he's got the best numbers here, she does, but she caught a sloppy track last time, and they took it off the turf, so she's back on the turf here, and her best race was on the turf on a yielding course at Belmont. So I think that those 270 buyers are better than anything else in here, but you got some first-time starters that you got to look at. Interrogation for Christophe Clement, Inflexibility for Chad Brown, the 5 and 6. The one you mentioned to Purge, the 2 for Chad Brown, wasn't that impressive in the first race at Aqueduct, but usually better second time out. And then Talaqui for McLaughlin and Rose for Lizzie, the 12, were the other 2 that I mentioned too. Bogulator would probably be my choice here, but I would not go anywhere less than 3 or 4 in the pick 4. I'm probably going to go 6 deep.
9th race is the Ginger Brew on the turf at a 7.5 furlong distance. So that's that short run into the first turn. These are 3-year-old fillies. Where did you land in the Ginger Brew?
This one's hard because that short run, I think the 12 is the best horse in there. Jeunesse Duray. She was very impressive at Keeneland, breaking her maiden back in October. I happen to know the owner, Gabe Grossberg, here, and I haven't talked to him, but she won easily at Keeneland. I like her, but I don't like the post position. So my first ticket, I did single her in the pick 4, but with that 12 hole, it's awfully tough. I'd have to relook that and think that the one of the 2 European horses, Fields of Song, is probably my second choice. The 6 horse and Somebody to Love, the 10. Both those horses have raced against decent company in Great Britain. Somebody to Love has run against better company, but Fields of Song has won a couple races and beat 15 horses last time out. So Jeunesse de Ray was my choice. I'd hate the 12 hole, so I would probably also use Fields of Song, the 6, and Somebody to Love, the 10.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 12. I just couldn't take her because of the post position, but I also couldn't leave her out just because of the post position, because I think she's probably the most talented horse in here. So if you don't go to her, then I think it makes it considerably more wide open. And so I ended up taking another Chad Brown horse here down on the inside, Lady Alexandra. This horse was an impressive debut winner. I like that Castellano comes back to ride now. Got a little bit of a hot pace last time under Tyler Gaffleone, so they get back to the jockey that won with her in her maiden race, and maybe get her to relax a little bit from that inside post, and maybe she can take them wire to wire at a little bit of a price. Got to use the 12, the 5 Party Boat, the 3 Bahama Halo, and the Bellavese, the 7, just out of respect for the connections of Jimmy Toner and the Phillips racing stable. They have had some great grass fillies over the years, so I'll throw her in there as well into the mix. But Lady Alexandra is going to be the win pick for me, and then I'll use an exacta box, and it would be in this order, so as many of these as you'd want to use: 1, 12, 5, 3, 7. 10th race is the Mucho Macho Man at a mile on the dirt for 3-year-olds, and I went to the 11 Hemsworth in here for Tom Albatrani. Won a Grade 2, the Nashville, with an 83 buyer, and I thought that was a real nice race, and something close to that would be awfully tough in here. I wasn't real wild about the more accomplished horses like Sonic Mule and Talk Logistics. I think you could certainly throw them into the mix, but I settled on Hemsworth, and then a couple of horses that are much more lightly raced but look like have a lot of upside. Cavill, the 6 for McLaughlin, real nice debut win, and Skylar's Scramjet, the 5, looks like might have been a private purchase after an impressive debut win. So I'm going to throw those 2 on my pick 4 ticket as well. So for the race, the 11's the win pick, and I'll key him in exactas with the 5, 6, 3, and 8. But get to the pick 4 here in a bit. Who do you like in the 10th?
Yeah, I like the 11, but I looked at this race, and there is a lot of speed here. So I'm not sure that Hemsworth is going to need the lead, and probably going to go for it from the outside hole. But I really went to a horse, Sweet on the Ladies, the 2 horse. Not greatly known connection, only won for 43, but I really like what they did with this horse last time out at Gulfstream West. They ran a $100,000 stakes race. He had been on the lead all 3 of his first races, and I don't know if he got a bad trip, but he was 10 lengths out of it and then won by 3. And that's going to set him up really well for this race, stretching out to a mile, because there is a ton of speed in here with Even Thunder, the 4, with Skylar Scramjet, the 5, Cavill, the 6, Hemsworth, the 11. They all want the lead. State of Honor, the 10. I think it sets up for a closer here, so I'm going to take Sweet on the Ladies, the 2, but I'm also going to use the pick 4. Skylar Scramjet had a great work last time out, 47 flat and a quick debut, and you're right, probably sold privately. Hemsworth, the 11, is usable. Recruiting Ready, the 9, they were really high on this horse last year. The last couple times out at Churchill and at Gulfstream was called a sloppy track. I'm going to toss those 2 races. And if you toss those 2, the last 3 buyers are 78, 85, 82, including a second in the Saratoga Special last summer. So Recruiting Ready is usable as well. Sweet on the Ladies is my lukewarm pick here, but I would use at least 5 in the pick 4.
We'll finish up the late pick 4 with a maiden claimer on the dirt. Who did you land on in the 11th?
As many as you can afford. I've got Princess Victoria, the 3. I've got Elite Air, the 7. I've got Don't Talk Back, the 8. And the 11, Dar Motivos, an Irish horse named Dar Motivos. I got no idea what that means. But all those horses have run at a better level and are dropping. Princess Victoria actually ran fairly well at this level last out. But probably my pick in here, just because of the maiden special weight down to 25,000, is Elite Air. But this is a tough race. If you can talk me into somebody else, that it wouldn't be hard. But 4 is all I could afford, and I picked 4 tickets. So 3, 7, 8, 11.
Yeah, I'm going to use 4 in the pick 4 as well, and would like to use more. But Elite Air is, I think, the one to beat, dropping out of those straight and maiden races. I'm going to try the 1 for the win pick, Sheza Prado. It's a claim from Mike Maker, who's really good at the claiming game. This horse hasn't run on the turf, but is bred to like it. It's out of a Rock Hard 10 mare, and I think he's got a good shot to get this. So I'm going to take the 1, but I like the Elite Air, also Royal Chapeau, the 4 a little bit, Authentic Kid in the 2. So those are going to be the 4. The pick 4, I couldn't decide on a definitive single. And so what I'm going to do, something you've done before, and I'm going to steal a page from your book, is suggest 2 pick 4 tickets, and I'm going to single the 2 Chad Brown horses I liked in the first 2 races and hope that Chad Brown wins at least one of them. And if he wins them both, then I've got a shot to hit it twice. But I'm going to start out and single the 2 in the 8th race and then use 1, 12, 5, 7, 3 with 11, 6, 5. Second ticket, I'll take 2, 3, 6, 7, 11, 12 in the first leg, single the 1 in the second leg, then 11, 6, 5 with 1, 2, 4, 7. So that ends up in a little north of $70, I think. It's a little more than we would normally suggest on a 50-cent ticket, but I just had trouble narrowing these fields down. How about you?
I did too, and against my better judgment, I am going to stick with my original ticket here. So I'm going to go 6 deep in the first leg with 2, 3, 5, 6, 11, 12, the horses we talked about, to Purge, Bogulator, Interrogation and Flexibility, Tilakli, and a Rose for Lizzie. And I'm going to single the 12. I just think that she's the best horse in the race, and I'm thinking Le Peru is going to get her a trip from the outside and run them down the stretch. So I'm going to single the 12, Jeunesse Doré in the second. That leaves me a little bit of money to spend on the last 2 legs, and I think I'm going to need it. 2, 5, 6, 9, 11 in the third leg with Sweet on the Ladies, Skylar Scramjet, Cavill. The 9 and the 11 are Recruiting Ready and Hemsworth. So now the 11th race, as many as you can afford, and I did 3, 7, 8, 11. So that's $60, but I would not question anybody who goes deeper than that maiden claimer in the last leg. Single of 12 in the second leg, that's the key to my success for the pick 4.
Best of luck with your wagers on the Saturday card at Gulfstream Park or wherever else you are playing at the simulcast outlets around the state or through KeenelandSelect.com. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. That's the In the Money podcast from KeenelandSelect.com.